Hi, this is Nappy Mac Diva 3, and this is a response to solely me get out, and I feel her on this. I understand what she's saying because one thing I noticed, like if I'm dating, like I put like this one black male that I was dating at one point in my life. Um, he has his issues, still probably does. But that's not my concern anymore, thank goodness. No longer a part of my life. But his thing is, black women always do this, black women always do that, and white women do this for me, and other women do this for me, and so forth. And like I've always told him, stop complaining to me and move on. And I basically had to kick him out to get him to move on because I'm like, I don't have time to hear about what everybody else can do for you and what I'm not doing. But my thing is, when you have, I'm not dogging black men because I love my black men, love men in general, regardless black, white, Native American, Latino. Um, I'm not a basher, but I have met some men in my life, regardless of race, who have their issues, just like I have my issues. I'm not perfect. I know I'm not, but I do know one thing that I am willing to communicate. I am willing to work with the man I'm dating. But if he's fighting me all the way, or if he's, trying to do his thing, like, so I got a lot of thoughts here, and I'm trying to stay on the point. The point is to get out. So my thing is, like I say, he got out, regardless if he wanted to or not. He had to get out. I had to move on. Because my thing is, if you want to sit there and complain, I have male friends who are interested in me and say I have too much makeup, I have too much this, I have too much that, and my whole thing is you don't have to deal with it. um, I love music, I love makeup, I love computers, and my son is my number one focus in my life. So if you have issues with me or anybody else, like she said, get out. Don't stay around. Don't sit there and talk about what you have a problem with. Because my thing is, you, when they start dating somebody, the first thing you have to do, you have to get to know that person. If you don't, if you start dating somebody and it's only been a week, and you tell me, oh, I love this person, blah blah blah. Then later on, you find out all these crazy flaws they have and everything else that you can't deal with. Then truthfully, that's kind of like your fault. So if you start bashing people, then that's on you because you should have learned more about that person before you decide to move in with them, before you decided to, say you love them and everything else. We're too free to say, oh, I love you and everything else, and you don't even know that person. And then next we start bashing because of the fact that we didn't know the person, and then we find out all these crazy flaws about them, and we're mad about it. And then we generalize whether it's a black female, white female, black male, Latino, white, whatever their race, whatever type of relationship you're in. You start bashing them. Oh, I can't date this. Like there are some females who, oh, I can't date any men anymore. And I'm not bashing if you're gay, whatever else. All I'm saying is, some people are like, oh, I can't date men anymore, whatever, because all of them are dogs and stuff like that. And my thing is, to each their own. You do what you want to do, but my whole thing is, don't start generalizing, don't start giving up, and then come back like she says and start talking about, well, you shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that because they're this and they're that. That's you. If you want a male bash, you go ahead and do that. But my whole thing is, I don't want to hear it. When my friends start doing it, I don't want to hear it. Because my thing is, and a lot of times they put themselves in certain situations. A guy I used to date, I'm going to use another example. Excuse me. A guy I used to date when I was in college. He was in the service. He Not gonna get into full details, but let's just say me and him stopped dating over the summer. Came back home. He stayed up there because he was staying in the area at the time. So he wanted to date other people during the summer. Kind of find out he didn't. He wanted to get back with me, and I decided, I don't think so, because every summer I go home, which I didn't go home every summer, which is kind of weird, but every summer I go home, then I know that it would be a problem where he would use that same thing, I want to date other people. And I'm like, I don't have time for that, because me and him were cool, but I'm like, I don't have time for that. So he started dating some other people, some other females who came up there. They were like freshmen at the college and so forth, and they basically played him. He was working, so I know they played him for his money, different things like that. And after that, he was like just bashing women. They did this and they did that and they ain't jack and da da. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to this because I'm around a whole lot of our friends, because we kind of hung around the same crowd. And it's kind of funny because we're all sitting there, they're looking at me like, dang, Belinda, okay, you gonna take this? And I'm trying to hold my tongue, but I eventually had to tell him, look, did I ever do you wrong? He was like, no. Did I ever cheat on you? No. So I'm just going down the list of everything that these other women did to him, but everything I didn't do to him. So I point blank told him, you had a good thing going. He agreed with that. And I said, but you chose to say, or you decided you wanted to date other people that summer. So, and I made a decision at that point that that's not what I wanted to do at that time. So, we need to break things off. And my whole thing was, he's sitting there bashing every single woman, and mainly black women, because of what 2 or 3 black women did to him, when all the other ones were good in his life. So instead of focusing on the good relationships that he was taking from all of the bad relationships and generalizing everybody. And I think a lot of people do that, because I've had bad relationships in my life, and I've had a lot of good ones. But I notice I don't bash men based off of the bad relationships. What I do is I focus on the good ones I have had, or the good one that I'm having now, how you want to put it. And what I do from there is I take from the good relationships and I focus on that, so that that's what I get for the rest of my life. So I can have the happiness that my parents have, instead of focusing on all the bad. And then, because if I'm focusing on all the bad, then that's the type of relationship that I'm going to keep getting into, because I keep focusing on it, so that's what I'm attract. I focus on the good, then what happens is I get into good relationships, and I'm going to find my good man. Not in a relationship now, but I'm cool with that, because there's certain things that I have to work on within me, and that's what I'm trying to do, to get certain things, straight with me. And if I meet the right man along the way, that's fine. If I don't, I'm not pressed about it. But one thing I won't do is bash men, because like I said, I love my men, I love my black men, and I wouldn't bash them. I may have my viewpoints at times, but I would never generalize them. I might say some, but that's about it. But that's my viewpoint. I have more to say, but I'm going to cut it short, because I haven't had enough sleep. So I need to go take a nap again. But I'll pass on some views and talk to y'all later. Bye.